I went to speak at the Central Student Government today at the University of Michigan as a concerned student, addressing concerns around the divestment bill for humanity and the growing censorship of the meetings out there, where the videoing and taking photographs is now a prohibited act by attendees in the meeting, and the CSG itself will record all meetings and upload it. The problem with this is that it limits student engagement and it limits awareness about what our representatives are doing. And the issue with this is blatantly clear, just by the fact that I went in there and they used a secret ballot. And what this means is that, okay, so we're going to talk about the fact that Eric Veal Jr., the president at the CSG, yeah, I've mentioned his name, so you know who the guy is that vetoed the uh, it, bill to stop funding the Israeli genocide and to continue murdering Palestinians with the University of Michigan's financing. And with this, they used a secret ballot to vote on it. So we don't know which members voted to defend the Israeli genocide and which ones decided to vote against it. And I find that to be absolutely disgusting. With that said, let's talk about more. I went in there and I gave a speech about the issue with the recording and photographing. They said, I quote, it's about the ICE agents. They might come in here and snatch people if they see recordings of XYZ individuals at these meetings. Do you see the problem with that? You're saying that you have members in here that ICE would just snatch up. Do you know that this is essentially an admission that we have illegal immigrants and illegal students just hanging out in here? Oh my god! And I called them out on it, and they said, "Oh, you're a bigot. You're a xenophobe. You're XYZ." It's stupid. Like, the fact that they were upset at me for calling them out. Is this the excuse you're gonna come up with for censoring students, censoring people from taking photographs and videos of your meetings? Is you're gonna say, "Oh, ICE might capture these people, and we're not gonna say names. We're gonna say this," and they were pissed. I'm still upset about it because as a left wing socialist, this is the stupidest and most ridiculous argument I've ever heard in my life. The Central Student Government of the University of Michigan, it's a bunch of people who hide their identities. So they want to wear a mask and they want to act like they weren't elected by a bunch of people to take up this position. If you're afraid to show what you voted for and to explain yourself and actually do your freaking job, you don't deserve to be in a position of power. You deserve to be out in the streets. You deserve to not be in an elected position. You deserve not to be where you're at. And I swear, like on my entire being, these people need to be kicked out of office. They do not deserve to be in positions of power. If you cannot show your voting record, explain yourself, and you're not confident being on camera and explaining your positions and doing actual policy that has impact on lives, you do not deserve to be in a position of power. You deserve to be kicked off and exiled. With that said, let's talk about more of the meeting. So after addressing my concerns around their censorship of video and photographing for the most absurd reason, they went on to do the election with the secret ballot, and they made sure to mention the fact that it was the people who wanted to defend Israel putting out that secret ballot. So more than likely, it was the people voting for the Israeli genocide that really didn't want their identities exposed. Okay, one last thing. I'm gonna wrap this up really soon. There was a Israeli guy who came in there, and he is like, my Jewish frat bros are not being allowed to have their parties without being attacked by Nazis. And then, he went on to elaborate after one of the CSG people asked him, like, how does this represent across the entire campus? He's like, I don't know. It's people. It's vibes, bruh. And with his bruh and his frat bro mentality, he said, we need to keep sending military aid to Israel. That's my only demand. We need to continue murdering Palestinians. We need to keep on sending money to Israel. And after that, he made his intentions clear. He thinks that arms and weapons should be delivered to Israel, and that Palestinians and the people who don't want to endorse mass murder need to shut the fuck up, apparently. And with me, that said, there was a couple of older people who were there, and I really enjoyed seeing them. They were like this like old couple, and they had like their uh they had victims. They had actual victims of the Israeli occupation and Israeli genocide. And the people in that crowd, they're like the aura of privilege and disgust coming off of the CSG members was horrible. You know, you see victims of an occupation, you see victims of murder, you see victims of actual crimes, and your actions just to sit there and be like, we need to hear out both sides. It's like it's like 1941. If you're after the Pearl Harbor attacks, like, we need to consider the implications that the Jews might have done something wrong, and that the Nazis might have a reason for murdering them. We wouldn't murder a massive amount of people if they weren't in some way responsible for being locked up in their concentration camps and being mass executed. That's essentially the mentality being expressed by these people. And the election, it was 18 voted to remove the veto that was put in by Eric Veal, and there was another 16 people that decided to vote for the Israeli genocide and keep in place the veto that was placed in by Eric Veal, and then there was one person who abstained. And the thing I find most frustrating and most disgusting about this is that there's a slim majority of people who were in favor of defending the Palestinian lives and actually not endorsing a genocide, but a good 40+% of people in that meeting room were in favor of it, and for rats, nothing being done, and this naive liberal view that we just need to sit down and shut the fuck up and do nothing. Not protest, not actually do anything. We just need to sit down with the arms crossed and wait till the next election. That is not what I want to do. I actually want to see things get done. I actually want to see people take down the names of these people, not have a secret ballot, and, face the consequences by the student body. Actually have people call you out and say, this guy's defending murder. This guy is a shitty human being. This guy endorses actually murdering innocent civilians. This guy is a Islamophobic, anti-Arab American bigot. He needs to be called out. This is the type of stuff we need to see. But these people in these meeting rooms, they say, we're going to shut people out. We're going to limit the amount of people that can attend the meeting. And we're just going to do everything behind closed doors. Democracy and representing people, my ass. These people do not represent us. These people are just working for foreign entities and working for Democratic and Republican Party establishment and status quo. These people do not represent the students of the University of Michigan. in the state of Michigan as a whole. These people are out of touch and need to be kicked out of office. That's it.